King David spent his life in endless, blood-soaked wars to secure these ancient stone walls and unite the surrounding tribes. Now that massive kingdom has been handed down to his son, Solomon. Solomon is stepping into a severe power vacuum. He is suddenly responsible for a population that has grown too large to count. By his own admission, he feels like a little child who has no idea how to lead them. Imagine the terrifying burden of becoming an absolute monarch overnight. He holds the crown, but he entirely lacks the practical, day-to-day experience required to govern a fragile, newly formed nation. Solomon inherited his father's treasury and his father's troops, but he possessed no internal blueprint to guide them. In the middle of this crisis, Solomon experiences a vivid dream where God approaches him with the ultimate blank check. The offer is simple: ask what I shall give you. If you hand that kind of opportunity to an ancient king, the demands are predictable. They ask for unimaginable wealth, the violent destruction of their rivals, or an unnaturally long life. But Solomon rejects every single self-serving option. Instead, he asks for an understanding mind, the capacity to govern his people fairly and accurately discern good from evil. Because he prioritizes the public good over his own ego, the divine response is staggering. He is promised the wisdom he asked for, along with all the riches and honor he ignored. Authority follows those who prioritize the capacity to see things as they really are. That promised wisdom is immediately put to a severe test. Two women, both prostitutes living in the same house, stand before the king. One baby has died in the night, and now both women violently claim the single surviving infant as their own. This is a classic locked room mystery. There are no witnesses. There is zero circumstantial evidence. Standard human law has reached an absolute dead end. Solomon's solution is shocking. He commands his guards to bring him a sword, and he orders them to physically cut the living baby in half so each woman can take a piece. He has no intention of executing a gruesome political compromise. He is setting a psychological trap. He knows that in the face of the child's imminent death, the true mother will instantly give up her legal claim just to save the baby's life. The real mother begs him to give the child to the liar. By exposing the truth in a total vacuum of evidence, Solomon proves to his citizens that their new leader operates with divine justice. That single act forges unbreakable national trust. That sharp, truthful decision-making scales up from the courtroom to the administration of an entire empire. Solomon replaces the chaos of tribal rivalry with a high-functioning cabinet and 12 administrative districts. This logistics network ensures a constant year-round flow of resources to the capital, eliminating the local shortages that usually spark civil unrest. This internal stability transforms the kingdom into a regional hub. Because the borders are secure and the laws are predictable, the nation becomes a primary destination for global trade. The scale of his intellectual output is staggering. He achieves global renown by cataloging thousands of species of plants and animals, and he authors over 3,000 proverbs. This chart tracks the result of that logistical efficiency. National revenues surge to a staggering 666 talents of gold every year. That gold funds massive infrastructure, including the Central Temple. Foreign leaders travel across the world just to witness the administration he built. The astronomical riches, the monumental buildings, and the global fame were strictly byproducts of his initial pursuit of wisdom. They were never his goals. But wisdom only functions when it is actively and consistently applied. Looking at the historical footprint of the Temple Mount today, we can see the remnants of a legacy that eventually fractured. In his later years, Solomon stops seeking the discernment that built his kingdom. He succumbs to his own pride and becomes intoxicated by the sheer volume of his accumulated wealth. He begins to rely heavily on foreign marriages and alliances. He imports fleets of chariots and horses from Egypt and other former enemies, diluting his reliance on divine guidance. The results are catastrophic. The heavy taxation and forced labor required to maintain his lavish lifestyle breed deep resentment, leading to the total fracturing and splitting of his kingdom shortly after his death. It is a harsh historical warning. Riches cannot save a leader. In fact, massive wealth without the active wisdom to manage it becomes the exact catalyst for destruction. This ancient history translates into a highly practical modern imperative. Whether you are managing a business, leading a family, or navigating your career, the mechanics of leadership remain the same. If you directly pursue money, status, or the utter defeat of your rivals, those pursuits will ultimately hollow you out and fracture your legacy. When you inevitably face your own version of the blank check question, the most powerful thing you can do is reject the obvious reward. Seek the discernment to do what is right, and trust that everything else will follow.